evening, I'm Atik Rumi bringing you your Gold FM News Roundup.
The top story on Gold FM.
Sri Lanka is one of the countries that requested petroleum products from India. This was said by the spokesperson of the Indian Ministry of External Affairs, Randhir Jaiswal, today. This comes against a backdrop of growing disruptions in global fuel supplies due to the ongoing Middle East conflict triggered by the war between US, Israel and Iran. Taking this situation into account, Sri Lanka had to raise fuel prices, and the Ceylon Petroleum Corporation also urged the public to use fuel sparingly. Addressing the weekly media briefing of the Indian External Affairs Ministry, this is what the spokesperson had to say.
India is a major exporter of refined petroleum products, especially to our neighborhood. We have received a request from the government of Bangladesh for supply of diesel, which is being examined. Diesel exports to Bangladesh have largely continued since 2017. India's refining capacity, our own requirements and diesel availability will be factored in while taking decisions. In addition, I would also like to say that we have received such requests from several other countries, including Sri Lanka and Maldives. And these are being examined, taking into account our own energy requirements and availability that we have.
Meanwhile, multiple reports today claim that Iran has agreed to allow India-flagged tankers to pass through the Strait of Hormuz, through which 40% of India's crude imports pass.
This is the local news on Gold FM.
The Sri Lankan government was not serious in appointing an ambassador to Iran, a position that has been vacant since late 2024. This is according to Mohammad Shahid, Sri Lanka's last ambassador appointed to the Islamic Republic. It was recently that the government approved the appointment of Professor M.I. Faziha Azmi as the ambassador to Iran. Speaking to us, the former ambassador criticized the government for not appointing an envoy until then at this critical period of time.
I think that the Sri Lankan government was not very serious in appointing a representative in Iran, because they could have done so soon after I came back from there. But I was called before I completed my stint because of the change of the government. I always feel that there may be change of governments, but of course it should not affect the diplomatic relationship with another country just because the government has changed. But you must give them at least 3 to 6 months until such time you go through the process of appointing another diplomat. The diplomat who is holding office on the station should continue. I must tell you this. Now, during the last 12 days of war, we had some Sri Lankan students in some of the universities in Iran. They contacted me, but they said, "You are not here, but can you help?" But then I spoke to the ambassador, Indian ambassador. Luckily, I had some close relationship with the Indian ambassador, and I spoke to him, and then he said, "Look, there's only 6 or 7 students. I have got more than 500 to 600 students who are studying in Iranian universities." And he said, "I will take them also along." So, in a situation, we may have 5 persons or 10 or 15 or maybe less, but we must have our representative in the station in order to help.
With US sinking the Iranian vessel Iris Dana in Sri Lankan waters, the defense pact signed by Sri Lanka with India and the United States came under scrutiny. With regard, this is what Shahid had to say.
We must in the first instance find out what is the agreement that Sri Lanka signed with the United States recently. What is the agreement that Sri Lanka signed with the Indian government recently? Why they have not put it out?
Do you think these defense corporations are playing a part?
That has a serious impact on the relationship with Iran. I think so.
Finally, he commented on the government's delayed response toward the assassination of Iran's former supreme leader Ayatollah Ali Khamenei.
I said it's disgrace because the Sri Lankan government stand this time because now a country's leader, religious leader has been killed, and the Sri Lankan government was taking 2 days even to say that they are condoling with the demise of the religious leader who was killed. I said for Sri Lanka. But Sri Lanka is a neutral country. It's a non-aligned country. Non-aligned doesn't mean that you have to keep silence. At least to the extent of expressing condolence or to condemn the brutal attack, I think Sri Lanka is so helpless.
Do you think we are not neutral right now?
We have not done it, because after the opposition members made hue and cry in parliament, and the Prime Minister said, I'm going today to the Iranian embassy to sign the condolence book. Anybody and everybody can go and sign the condolence book and say various things about what they feel. But as a government, it has a moral duty, and as a government which is non-aligned, but in a situation like that where the Iran had helped us a lot, and we should have expressed our condemnation in strong sense.
Opposition leader Sajid Premadas has stated that Sri Lanka manages its response to the Middle East conflict and Iranian vessels by giving precedence to international conventions. Speaking during an interview with the India Today Global channel, he emphasized the importance of global agreements in navigating the current regional instability. President Anura Kumara Dissanayake met with trade union representatives from the Ceylon Electricity Board at the Presidential Secretariat earlier today. The President's media division confirmed that the discussion focused extensively on the ongoing restructuring process. President Dissanayake emphasized the government's objective to ensure an efficient, continuous and fairly priced power supply for the public while maintaining state ownership of new entities to safeguard national energy security. Furthermore, the President assured that all existing employee rights remain protected under the new corporate structure and engaged in a lengthy dialogue regarding previously unresolved issues with the union delegates. Former Chief Executive Officer of Sri Lankan Airlines Kapila Chandrasena was arrested by the Commission to investigate bribery or corruption. This is for allegedly demanding and accepting a bribe of $2 million in the Airbus deal.
Now for some news in brief.
Police in Kandy arrested the 73-year-old director of an international school following a vehicle incident that claimed the life of a 7-year-old student, and he will be produced before the Kandy magistrate tomorrow. Director General of the Meteorological Department, Atula Karunanayake, predicts a further increase in the current hot weather conditions across the island, adding that this warning trend persists through the coming months and expects to remain until May.
The business news on Gold FM.
The all-share price index of the Colombo Stock Exchange declined 363.43 points to close at 21,988.12. The S&P SL 20 index also declined 107.42 points to close at 6,172.28. Total market turnover was 4.1 billion rupees.
International news on Gold FM.
Iran's new supreme leader Mojtaba Khamenei has said the lever of blocking the Strait of Hormuz should continue to be used in a statement read on Iranian state TV. While declaring a policy of friendship with neighboring countries, Khamenei warned them to close American bases, saying Iran will continue to target them. Meanwhile, Iran's Revolutionary Guards confirmed that the Thai-flagged cargo ship Mayuri Nari near the Strait of Hormuz was fired upon by Iranian fighters, causing significant damage but no casualties. However, Thailand's foreign ministry has demanded an apology from Iran over the incident. Meanwhile, U.S. Energy Secretary Chris Wright said that his country's navy is not ready to escort oil tankers through the Strait of Hormuz. He wasn't saying that on Tuesday. However, foreign media reported that 48 hours ago, he declared on social media that the U.S. Navy had successfully escorted a tanker through the key waterway. In the meantime, American military officials have told Congress that the first week of the war with Iran has cost the U.S. around $11.3 billion. The figure is a low-end estimate and does not include the build-up costs of moving military assets ahead of the first strike on the 28th of February. Meanwhile, the Israeli military says it has struck a nuclear weapon development compound in Tehran during attacks in the past days.
Entertainment news on Gold FM.
Organizers of the 98th Academy Awards have assured robust safety measures ahead of Monday's ceremony after the FBI warned California law enforcement of a potential retaliatory drone attack by Iran targeting the West Coast. The Los Angeles County Sheriff's Department confirmed it was operating at an elevated level of readiness, while executive producer Raj Kapoor said the event has one of the best security teams in the business, working in close collaboration with the FBI and LAPD. Security has been increased at the venue, though sources say it is not overtly visible, as organizers aim to ensure all attendees and fans feel safe, protected and welcome.
sports news on Gold FM.
St. Thomas's College, Mount Lavinia reached 203 for the loss of 4 wickets at stumps on day 1 of the 147th Battle of the Blues against Royal College at the SSC. Half-centuries from Jaden Amravira and skipper Avinash Fernando provided a solid foundation for the Thomians after Royal elected to field first. In Kandy, the 107th Hill Country Battle of the Blues saw Trinity College finish the day at 66 for 3 in response to St. Anthony's College's first innings total of 157. Sisal Atanaika top scored for the Anthonians with 64 as Kanilka Anthony took 4 wickets for Trinity. Dimanta Mahavithana scored 52 for the Trinitians at the Asgiriya Stadium. That's it for the news. I'm Atik Rumi. Have a great evening.
The best way to get through a busy day at work. All Ballad Thursday on Gold FM.
93 or 93.2 FM. Island